So we are in Copenhagen.
We are indeed, yes.
And basically we've bought little passes that, a bit like we did in Stockholm, and we're going to see exactly how much we can get for our money in Copenhagen in 48 hours. We started in the afternoon on the first day now, it's the afternoon.
Yeah,
and we're going to say
done it slightly differently.
We have, so last time we had 2 full days, this time we're going to have an afternoon, a full day and then a morning. And we're going to see exactly how much money we can save and whether we can see everything we want to see in 48 hours in Copenhagen. Watch this space.
Call it off, let it go. Just leave me out. I think we have gone too far, and I don't mind if we fall apart, 'cause all the
So this room has lots of tapestries in it that were designed in the year 2000 and given to Queen Marguerite as a birthday present. And they are quite incredible. This is the most recent. So they depict 1,000 years of Danish history. And they start over there, and this one is the most recent one. And there are various things that you can see on here. So there's Donald Duck when he was published up there. Can you see Donald Duck up there? 1949, the blue duck, the yellow and white duck with blue background. And then there's the Berlin Wall just to the right of him, to the right and slightly lower than that. And then there's the Second World War and various other bits and pieces. So yeah, it's quite incredible. It's very, very detailed. You can see people from the 20th century. It's quite amazing. And these are incredibly vivid colours as well. The design by Anders, I can't remember his name. But yeah, quite amazing. So the tapestries were designed by a local man who's called Bjorn Nardberg. And it took 60 weavers 10 years to make these tapestries for the Queen's 60th birthday in the year 2000. And they're made in France, which is interesting. But they are quite incredible. So we've been in the Royal Palace, and it certainly is royal. Lots of surfaces decorated in gold, very grand, etc., etc. But the best thing about visiting, the groovy shoe covers. You have to wear them, because otherwise they won't allow you in. So this is the kitchens of the Royal Palace, and although it looks very old-fashioned, actually we just watched a video and it is used today, but the difference is they don't actually make things here, they prepare things off-site at a place called Amelienborg, and they bring it here and then they use dumbwaiters and various water baths and things to heat things up for the dinners. And there's a dumbwaiter over there you can see as well, they take it all upstairs. But it's actually very interesting. I love all this copper pans and everything, they're just amazing.
shine on us, tell me something more. We can win this war. Yeah, all the lights that shine on us haven't felt this before. Oh, what are we fighting for? I can't do this no more. Heading towards the door.
So we are at the Museum of Illusions, and hopefully you can see lots of me in here. I can certainly see lots of Roger, and he said he could see lots of me. So we'll have to just see how that works, won't we? So this is the Museum of Illusions in Copenhagen. We're going to see what kind of illusions we can find. So this is the illusion where you can only see half a person, but in the mirror, hopefully, you can see all of me, or me half, I don't know. Me twice, I guess. The same half of me twice is hopefully what you can see, I don't know. So now we're in the tilted room, which is very odd. It does say a lot of people can't stand upright at all, and if you do stand upright, then it just feels very strange. So you have to kind of tilt. It's very weird, actually. It feels like the whole room is moving as well. This is the infinite space room, and wherever you look, you can see hundreds upon hundreds of us. That's always a bit of a worry, isn't it, really? You can see the front of us and the back of us and all round us. There's a bit of a worry actually. It's called the Infinite Space Room. It does look enormous and it's a tiny little room. I think you should turn around a bit more, Roger, I think, if you can. So this is Roger with his head on a platter. I'm not quite sure why this is an optical illusion, but it's still quite fun.
What are we fighting for? I can't do this no more. I think that we both know.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, it feels really weird. Oh, that's strange. Man, that is weird. That just feels like that's really strange. Oh, that was really weird. It's really weird. I just feel like we're going to fall off. That is really peculiar. That is very strange. Good morning, everybody. So we've come in early into Copenhagen. It's about, I don't know what time it is actually. It's about 8:30. And we've come to this particular bakery because it's a gluten-free bakery. And I've gone for a cinnamon bun, as has Roger. Roger's gone for one with butter in it. I've gone for a vegan one. And hopefully they're going to be absolutely yummy. We've also got some cakes for later as well because we're quite greedy. And I've got a nice cup of tea as well, so perfect. Cheers. Now I'm going to actually have a bite of this while you're filming me, aren't I? It's nice and warm. That is yummy. Really nice.
What's the name of the place?
This is called Hug, H-U-G Bakery. So you can't come to Copenhagen without coming to the Little Mermaid. And at the moment it's absolutely heaving. It all looks like all these people have come off a cruise boat by the look of it. But it's very small, it's quite diminutive. And in a way it's quite underwhelming. We've been to Copenhagen and seen this statue before. In December it was. I mean, it's beautiful. Apparently, the face, it was modelled on a famous ballerina, and the face is the only bit of the ballerina that you can actually recognise. And then the body was actually the sculptor's wife, because that was the only person who could actually model for him. So this is Friedrich's Church, and the Amelia Borg Palace is just behind it, so presumably the royals would come up here to go to the church. It is quite amazing. It's completely round inside, and it's quite ornate, but not over the top. And the houses around the edge are lovely too. Very, very pretty. So we are at the home of Carlsberg. It's part of the Copenhagen card tour. Cheers, everybody. Or as they say in Denmark, skål. So this is we think it's the last part of the Carlsberg tour. We're not absolutely sure. It's been very interesting. This has got 23,000 unopened bottles of beer from all the different countries over all the different years that they've been making it. So yeah, different types of labels and different types of bottles, different sizes. Quite incredible. So we just had our Carlsberg tour. It was really interesting, very fun as well. There was lots of interactive stuff to do. And now, of course, we get our well-deserved Carlsberg beer. Cheers. Skål. Oh, that's nice. So this is the Church of Our Saviour, and we're about to climb up to the top of the tower, which apparently has amazing views over Copenhagen. So this is another use of our Copenhagen card. Oh, about 400 steps to the top apparently, and we've been walking a lot today, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too much for us. So we climbed up to the top of the tower in Our Saviour's Church? All Saviour's Church? I can't remember what it's called. Our Saviour's Church, I think it is. And it was quite impressive from the top there. The stairs got much narrower. Basically, the stairs were inside until this point, and then they went around the outside of the tower up to the top, and they got much narrower as you went. And the bizarre thing is you have to come down the same way as you went up, which isn't really surprising, but it does mean that it was quite a jam up there. But the views from the top here are lovely, all over the old Copenhagen and the new. So we're here in Tivoli Gardens. The weather is somewhat changeable now. If you look up there, it's bright blue sky, and a minute ago we had our umbrellas up and it was pouring with rain, so we really don't know what the weather's doing. This is a lovely bit of the gardens. The gardens themselves are very, very pretty, but we're not sure about the rest of it because it costs about 185 krona to get in, and if you want to go on any rides or anything, you have to pay extra for that. So not too sure about that at the moment, but we're still at the beginning of our wandering, so I'll let you know. So we thought we'd share with you where we've been staying in Copenhagen. It's not actually in Copenhagen, it's outside. It's in a little place called Neva, and we're staying at Neva Harbour. Neva Haven, that's where we're staying. It's 200 Danish kroner. You get electricity, showers, water, toilets, and there's a laundry here as well that you can access via a code, which is always good. And yeah, it's been really nice. It's been very peaceful and quiet. We haven't been here a lot, but it's been lovely while we have been here. The weather has been quite mixed, I think it's fair to say. You can see lots of puddles on the floor. There has been heavy rain, but we've been very lucky today because we haven't really got wet. The only time it really rained today was when we were was when we were in Tivoli Gardens, and that was only briefly. We stood under a tree, and it wasn't too bad actually. We got a little bit wet on the way back, walking back as well, but actually we've had a lovely day, lovely couple of days going into the town. And yes, it's been great, and this has been a lovely place to stay. It's about a quarter of an hour, 20-minute walk to the station, but that's really nice. So we are here at Kronborg Castle, and this is the original castle where Shakespeare set Hamlet. And he apparently never visited himself, but he asked lots of people who were here about the details of the castle. And it is incredibly detailed if you read the play about exactly what happens and the rituals of the Danish court as well. So we're going to go inside and try and find out a little bit more.
We know we can stay like this. We failed the test. It wasn't meant to be. Oh, 'cause all the lights that shine on us tell me something more. We can't win this war. Yeah, all the lights that shine on us haven't felt this before.
This is Holger the Dane that was sculpted in the early 1900s, and the legend goes that he's a sleeping man who, if Denmark's authority or freedom was threatened, then he would wake up to protect the country. And there's lots of legends like that around the world as well. And he's sleeping until the time that he's needed, basically. And Hans Christian Andersen wrote a fairy tale about him as well. So down here, this is the casemates of Kronborg Castle, and this is where about 200 soldiers were stationed. They did go up sometimes to defend the castle or to keep things running up there, but this is where they lived, this is where they slept, and it's pretty cold and very damp down here, I would say, as well. We're now inside the royal apartments inside Kronborg Castle, and actually this was built by Frederick, who was 38, and his bride was Sophie, and she was 15. And Frederick was so keen to please Sophie, he was going to call it Sophiaborg Castle after her, but in the end it was called Kronborg Castle. So I am doing exactly what the Queen would have done. This is the Queen's gallery, and on days like, well, not necessarily like today, but on wet days, they would have walked up and down in here to protect their shoes. And this is where the ladies would have been perambulating during the day. This is the grand ballroom, and this is where in the 1500s there would have been tables down both sides, 24-course feasts which would have lasted for several days, and in the middle there would have been actors and jugglers and entertainers, and then the couples also would have danced in the middle here as well. And this is also where Frederick's two daughters got married in this room as well, and they had their festivities afterwards. So we are at Helsingør in Denmark, and over there you can see ferries coming across the water from Helsingborg in Sweden. Sweden is literally a mile or so across the water there, very, very close, and because of that, Sweden and Denmark have been great animosity between the two over the years. And the weather today has now turned absolutely vile. It's blowing a gale, pouring with rain, so we're going to go inside and try and get a little bit drier. So we wanted to talk about the card and the pass that we got for Copenhagen. Bear in mind that we did 48 hours, so we had an afternoon, a full day and then a morning. And we think we got our money's worth from it.
We do indeed. Yes. 48 hours, we did a lot of walking.
We did, and you can use it for doing transport. So we could have used it for getting on buses and tubes as well, which we did sometimes, but not a lot. We walked most of the time, didn't we?
One of the things that was included was trains, which we haven't included in our pricing.
Yes.
So we got the train from where we were camping into the middle of Copenhagen. And we did catch a couple of buses, but other than that, nothing really.
Going out to Carlsberg, we caught a train and a bus,
Yes.
didn't we, or whatever it was, yeah.
So, yes, how much did it cost and how much did we save? So the total cost, excluding transport, to us was 739 Danish kroner. If we'd have gone, so we went to a dozen different things, roughly. If we'd have gone to those individually, it would have cost us 1,172 kroner. So we have a saving per person of 439 kroner, which is about £49. So for us, yes, it definitely was worth it. We did cram a lot in. We were knackered at the end of the 2 days, I have to say.
We were, but also we have been to Copenhagen before. So if you haven't, I think you probably could have actually made even better use of your card, because I think there's a lot of other things to see. So we walked to the Little Mermaid, we walked to churches that you didn't have to pay to get into. So those kind of things, you could have actually done a lot more of the paying things if you'd wanted to, I think.
What we also did was make sure that we knew what time places opened, what time places closed. So, for example, the first afternoon we were there, we went to the Museum of Illusions, and the reason we went there last was because it closed at 10 o'clock. So we thought, okay, well, we might as well make the most of that.
Yeah, you need to plan your time, really, don't you?
Yes. But yeah, for us, definitely worth it. If it's the first time, 48 hours certainly isn't enough.
No.
You would probably need twice that, I would have thought, 96 hours.
Yeah.
And again, you can get 96-hour passes. But Copenhagen, loved it. Thought it was great. Lots to see and do, and really nice place.
Yeah, it was. It was fantastic, despite a bit of raininess, but actually it was great,
Indeed.
wasn't it? And it's a very easy city to walk around as well as to get on tubes and buses as well, isn't it? So,
Yes.
yeah, a very big thumbs up from us.
Yep. Highly recommend it.